So one of the things that is really, really important with kids ministry is child safety. I'm sure that you probably understand if you have kids, maybe you don't have kids, that's totally fine. But parents are trusting us to take care of their kids. They're trusting that on a Sunday morning, on a Wednesday night, no matter what, that when they drop their child off with us, that they're trusting that we are going to keep them safe. And there's, of course, there are so many things in this world that are so harsh and dark and hard to even think about, but they do exist. And so that's why we do things like background checks. That's why we care about having a sticker on every child. That's why we care about all these things. And so really it's part of this video is to protect you as a volunteer, as a ministry partner with Liberty, but also to protect our church so that we can still do ministry. But even more so, it's to protect our kids. Keep these things in your heart, even just because it's, processes and things like that are birthed out of the idea that there's a need and there's something that we have to pay attention to. So first and foremost, those background checks are very important. So if you have somebody that that wants to serve and be a part of Liberty Kids, and we are absolutely open to having them, and we want them to come and be a part with us and be volunteering with us with our kids, but they definitely need to get that form done. We cannot have a single person in this ministry without a background check. It has to be done. And of course, there's certain things that we just cannot have somebody working with kids. I'm sure you understand, but having things like a sexual offense on your record, that negates your ability to be able to serve with kids. Of course, we are certainly aware that people are able to change, and we applaud people that are able to come away from things like that. But we as a church cannot let things like that in because of the nature of how serious that is and how we have to care for our kids. And so understand that that's, those are things that we do to protect our kids. Those background checks mean quite a bit, not only to us as a church, as an organization, but to the safety of our children. Now, as it comes to rules, we don't have too many imperative rules. We try to make sure that you guys are able to come and be a part of this ministry and not have too many things weighing on you. But one rule that is very, very important is that you are never, ever alone with a child. It's very easy to find yourself in a place like that, and especially, in check-in and drop-in or drop-off and things like that. But please do your best, do your absolute best that you are never alone with a child. If you are waiting in your classroom and there's just one child there and you're the teacher and it's just the two of you, please just stand at the doorway. Do whatever you can to make sure that you are not in a closed room with one child. This is for the child's protection, of course, but actually this rule really serves to protect you as a volunteer, because accusations and things like that go a long way. And unfortunately, that is the kind of world that we live in right now, that things do happen that way. And we would hate to hear or to know that there's an accusation that's happening because you were alone with a child even for 5 minutes. And so that kind of rolls into the idea that we're not supposed to be going to the bathroom with these children. Of course, there's exceptions of kids that need help that are younger and they're toddler age and things like that. But those are understood norms. But as soon as you are outside of that place, a child is old enough to go to the bathroom by themselves, we are not in a place where we can do that. Please make sure you can have a student walk them to the bathroom or go with them to the bathroom, but please do not go by yourself with a child to the bathroom, because then you would be alone with a child. It's the same rule applies in both places. One thing that's also really imperative is check in and check out. I'm sure that you'll notice that kids all have the same kind of sticker on them, and that's on purpose. We use a system that has a code system for check-in and drop-off. And for pickup as well too. So when a student or a child checks in, they get a sticker that has their name, what grade they're in or what place that they're going to be in, as well as a code on there. And that's usually just a few digits long. And the idea is that the parent also gets a sticker. And on that sticker, there's two sides to it, so they can rip it, and one spouse can take each one. But the idea is that they need to be able to show you that sticker so that they can pick up their child. Of course, there's times where people lose that sticker or something happens like that, but we have to do our very best to retrieve those stickers from them. So please, if you're new to volunteering with us, that is something that you should definitely pay attention to. If you're working in check-in or if kids are being picked up from your room, definitely utilize that code on the sticker so that we can keep our children safe and know that they're being picked up from the right people. There's been too many times that even in churches that I've served in, that kids get picked up by the wrong person. It's mom's weekend to have them, and dad tries to come and pick them up and take them home. There are plenty of legal things that get in the way of those things, and the truth of the matter is that it's very easy to let a kid go to the wrong person. So please do your very best to utilize those as much as possible so that we're not letting kids go to the wrong place. One thing that I also want to mention is about first aid and things like that. I know, we're in ministry with kids and we do fun things. We have cool games and things like that all the time. We have a playground for toddlers even. But that means that kids get hurt, and that's okay. That happens sometimes, and parents should understand that. But we do have things in place for you to use. We have first aid in every single building on campus, even in the Family Life Center and in the worship center as well too. So if there's ever anything that happens, please go find your building director for whatever building you're in the nursery, K-5, if you're in MP Kids or in preschool. Every single building that is on this church campus has first aid and has the ability to care for whatever has happened with that child. If it's just a scrape, use your first aid knowledge, or go to that building leader so that they can come and help you manage this child. So that concludes our safety briefing. It is very imperative. Please, make sure that you are watching out for these things, that you're looking for check-in, that you're not with a child alone. And there are specific situations where things are grayed out and things like that. I understand that this isn't a all-inclusive type training, but if you do have a question, please feel free to email me or give me a call, or reach out to your building leader. If you have something that comes up in the moment, reach out to your building leader so that they can help you deal with the situation.